Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of She Who Leads in Love. I'm coming to you today from just outside Golden, Colorado. I've been here for a week-ish, and it has been very dream life so far. I'm doing some pet sitting. I don't know if I mentioned that. And the first home, I didn't really have any expectation, but the first home honestly felt like I was just stepping into this new version of my dream life, dream home. It has the wood and the windows and the fireplace and the surround sound and the beautiful mountain views and the most loving, sweet little pup ever. And we've just been having so much fun together. And my legs and my lungs are gradually getting used to this more mountainous region. I had sent a message to Lee and I said, walking Ninka, the dog I'm sitting, is probably the most opposite experience I could have than walking Kaya, like in Florida, 20 minutes, little flat, really slow. And Ninka's like, let's run up and down the hills and up and down the mountains and I can go forever. And so I'm having a lot of fun. And it turns out that our episode today is inspired by one of those hikes that I went on. So let me start with this story. So after just a couple days, my legs were feeling really sore from these hikes and my shins were hurting. And I was like, okay, well, let's go find a little easier hike, one that's maybe a little flatter for this afternoon. And I looked it up on All Trails and I found one. I saw it said Rawhide Trail, 2 miles, 1 hour. And I was like, okay, perfect. And it was easy. It wasn't even moderate. It was like easy. Great. So we get in the car, drive over there, and we're walking along and it's beautiful and I'm loving it. And I'm like, this is great. And then I look down at my watch and it was after 2 miles. It was like 2 point something. And I was like, that's weird. this is supposed to be a 2 mile hike. And so, okay, no big deal. I'm like, maybe it's just a little off. By the time I got to 3 miles, I was like, something is definitely off here. And nothing was actually wrong. My legs were still moving. I was feeling strong. I had the energy and the strength, and Ninka is full of energy and running around everywhere. So there was nothing really to be worried about, right? But inside, my mind was going crazy. And so that's the thing I want to talk about today is it's not that this distance of the hike was making me crazy. I could walk it. My body knows how to walk. It was not knowing the distance. What happens in us, in our minds and our bodies when we're facing the unknown? And so we're going to talk about today what to do with it, especially if you're a woman who's on this path of releasing fears and stepping into who you really are, because that journey, I hate to break it to you, but it's made up of so much unknown. There's no version of that journey that comes with a map. Okay. So let me take you back to the trail for a second. It's interesting because my intention was to go for a easier hike. And I had set out thinking, I know how far it is. I know what I'm getting into. And that number of how long it would take and how far we would be walking was wrong. It ended up being more than double, which I thought, which on its own, not a big deal, right? And so I'm walking along, realizing it's going to be longer than 2 miles. I just don't know how much. And so every bend on the trail, I'm thinking, this is it. This is every little hill. This is it. And it wasn't. And then the next one, and I'd go up a little hill and I'd be like, okay, this doesn't look I didn't know what was familiar because I'd never walked this trail before, but I kept thinking, am I going in the right direction? It does not feel like I'm going to be coming to the end right soon. And it just kept not being the end and not being the end. And all I could see around me was mountains. I could see no parking lots and no people. And my mind was just doing this math, like just running and running, trying to solve something that I had no information for. And I was very aware how it was my mind doing this, and I could sense, and I kept tuning in, my body is totally fine. I have energy. I didn't feel unsafe. Like the sun was setting a little bit, but I didn't have a sense, like a feeling in my body of fear. It was just that my mind was flipping out. And then I got frustrated that my mind had turned this hike that was supposed to be enjoyable into some sufferfest, and I couldn't just relax and be present as I walked. So let's sit with this for a second, because it's a great analogy for how we can approach life. It's bigger than this hike. So my mind was spinning about the end, about knowing the end. How much further? Where am I? When am I going to get there? What if I can't? What if something happens? And my body was just there, present, taking the next step and then the next one. My body never once panicked about mile 6 when I was standing at mile 4. It couldn't, because the body doesn't live out there in the future. It only ever lives right here. And that's when I had this new level of awareness. I was experiencing the unknown. Wasn't about the trail, right? The trail is just a trail, dirt, rocks, trees, the next step. The thing that was making this experience a challenge for me was only happening in my mind. Now, of course, we know this, but it's always wonderful to have these real life experiences where we get to practice and really sink into this reality that my body is totally fine. My mind is creating this suffering. Okay, your body is never in the unknown. Your body knows. It's only ever right here on this one place, this one moment. And the unknown is a story your mind is telling about a future that doesn't exist yet. And here's why your mind does this. It's not a flaw. There's nothing going wrong. Your mind is wired to scan ahead, to want the map, to treat the not knowing as a threat, like we've talked about. The mind is built to survive. So when there's an open question, when you don't know how it ends, or your mind just can't sit still in that, it literally needs to close the loop in your brain. It wants the answer. It wants the timeline. The mind wants the guarantee and that certainty before any of that information is actually even available to you. It's like the mind is needing this conclusion before the heart has actually finished listening. It's the whole thing, right? Because your heart knows, your body knows, but they know in a slower, quieter way. They're listening and present, they're receiving. And it sometimes feels like the mind comes in, barging in and taking over and demanding to know, right? But the heart knows. The heart is here and now. And what if it's just not done listening yet? This can be such a powerful shift in perspective as we learn to let the heart and soul lead and let the mind be in the background. Because oftentimes the fear that's coming through, the protection, I need to know, feels urgent, and it's often louder. And we can tune into the heart that is also here, the soul that is listening and here in this moment. So the kind of little panic that my mind was feeling on the trail, it wasn't a sign that something was wrong. And this is so important because we always have these two perspectives within us. And the mind is generally going to be in that place where it's creating some sense of worry and anxiety and what's wrong, because it's doing exactly what it's meant to do and figuring out how to close that loop and figuring out the certainty and trying to understand. So it doesn't know how to just let this question stay open. It doesn't understand how to just be in the unknown. And so if we can accept this kind of pattern or the way our mind works, we won't have to try to fix it. We could just watch it and let it do its thing. If we start to acknowledge, I know that when I'm faced with unknown, my mind's going to do this thing, but I also know there's this part of me as real that has a different quality of information for me right now, and that lives in my body. There was a quote that I came across from Joseph Campbell many years ago, and it hit me so hard because I was in a phase of trying to figure out and plan and need the plan. And this is what he said: if the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. And what I take that to mean is if you can see every step of your plan and your path and your life, whatever it is you're creating, and it's all laid out and it's all perfect, and I see this and then I'll do this and then this will happen, and the how is all just crystal clear, it's not new, for one. It's not new. It came from the past and everything that has been and what you already know. But the other part is it's probably not yours because you are constantly evolving and shifting and becoming new. So you can't possibly know what is next after next after next, because as you grow, every time you expand into something new, you become new. More possibilities, more options come to you, and then you get to choose from there. So just sit with this for a second, because everything in us is trained to want the clear path, meaning the clear future how. And we think that clarity means we're doing it right. We get a feeling of safety from that track. And the other thing about this path not being yours, if you can see it, is every time you expand, you get to know yourself deeper. You come into a greater understanding and connection with who you are. As you do that, you will want to make new choices, because the more you know yourself, the more you can choose to honor those parts of yourself. So if from where you're sitting right now, you have this idea of what your clear path is going to look like, and that gives you a sense of safety in this moment, a sense of certainty, that path is going to change, because to get to that dream, you do have to expand into a greater version of yourself, a more true, authentic version of you. So your path doesn't come pre-cut. It can't, because you make it with every step you take, and that's what makes it yours. So this unknown that we keep bracing against, the part with no map and no clear next bend, it's not a sign you've got it wrong. It feels like not knowing is this magical place and almost a sign that this path is yours, because you're making it along the way. And I really want you to feel this, because it changes everything. The fear of the unknown and the thrill of finally living your own life, they come through the same door. You don't get one without the other. You have to do them together. They come in parallel. Okay? When you're releasing fear and stepping into who you really are, you're being invited onto the only path that you can make. Your journey is yours and no one else's. And you're the only one that gets to choose this. So when it's unclear, when you can genuinely not see where this is going, what if that's a celebration? What if we could train our bodies to respond in a place of safety and connection? Not something's wrong, but something good. If you're feeling, I don't know, what if that's, I'm finally on my own trail. I'm finally on the right path for me. That's the shift in perspective. And so let's talk a little bit more too, just about some tips and tricks to help you stay in this place of the unknown being an opening, being a sign that now I'm on the best path for me. So the first reminder is kind of one we already talked about. The unknown only lives in your mind. It's your mind that doesn't know. What does know is your body. Your body is always in this present moment, alive and connected to source and full of information and feeling and intelligence. And it's this one practical reminder that will help ground you and anchor you out of the fear and into the truth. You can go from I don't know to I do know. So if you catch your mind going, I don't know, or it's scary, coming back into this present moment, what does my body know? What is my body feeling right now? Just bringing your awareness inside your body is one of the most powerful shifts to get you into the safety that's here and allow your body to relax. And what happens is your body becomes this doorway back to what's actually true right now, into your truth. And right now, there's always a next step. And that's all you ever have to be aware of, that one next step. I did find myself when I was on the path counting because I was really trying to get out of the mind spin. And I was like, 1, 2, 1, 2. You can do that. You can do with your breath as well, is paying attention to your breath. So another reminder about approaching and navigating this sense of unknown is you don't need to see the whole trail or the whole path or the whole how in order to take the next step. I couldn't see the end of the hike. I still got there, right? Your mind wants the full map before you feel safe, but this is actually how we are meant and we're built to create. From the energy in the present moment, from the information and the intelligence that we have and that we're aware of next. This is what alignment actually is. You're not forcing your way to certainty, right? You're taking one next step that's lit up in front of you, and then you're trusting the next one to appear when you get there. This is true creation. And the next step will always show up. It will always show up. Is we only have access to our soul guidance in this present moment. When we're trying to plan out 10 steps ahead, we're using the information that our mind has gathered from the past. We're using what we have already learned. And there is zero wrong with that. In fact, I think it's a great part of a process of learning to trust the energy that's coming in the moment to create. But true creation, the creation that feels magical and feels effortless, and the creation that feels like one perfect step flow, comes from taking one next best step. Comes from following the light in a moment, understanding where is my energy guiding me in this moment, and then in this moment. Another one of my favorite reminders when we're talking about the unknown is you have walked into the unknown before. You're still here. This idea that everything you have lived has been unknown at some point. Really take this one in. Everything you've experienced was at one point unknown. Every unknown you've ever faced in your whole life, you did it. You're here. And acknowledging that allows you to just sink into this trust and this knowing that it's okay. The unknown is okay. You don't need a guarantee about what's coming. You're already living proof that you can handle what you can't see yet. This self-trust, it isn't a certainty about the future. It's remembering what you already know about yourself now. It's coming into your body, into this moment, and saying, what do I know? I don't know that, and I don't know that, and I don't know that. But what do I know right now? And this is one of my favorite reminders. You can't get it wrong. You just can't get it wrong. This life is for the discovery and the exploration and the learning and the growing and the fun and the enjoyment. There's this part of you, your soul self, that is already perfect, whole, and complete. And from that perspective, you're not here living this life to get things done or make something happen in a certain way. You're here to explore. You're here to live. You're here to, and when we can take this perspective into how we're living and approaching our day, the idea that I can't get it wrong, this connection to the truth that I am good, I am whole, I am perfect as is, that's when it doesn't mean we stop growing. It doesn't mean we stop expanding. It means we can meet life with this openness and confidence that allows our path to flow more, allows us to receive and connect to the guidance within us and on a whole new level. And when you're approaching anything from, I can't get this wrong, now we're in a position to really, okay, what's the information here for me? How can I create more of what I want in this? When we're approaching it from, I could get it wrong, we're in our fear, we're in our lack, and it's just a smaller experience. And part of this idea about you can't get it wrong is remembering you don't have to navigate the unknown perfectly. You do not have to navigate anything perfectly. Let it be messy. Oh my gosh. Give yourself the permission to let it be messy. What's going to feel most powerful is when you are looking within and honoring and trusting whatever you feel within and then taking a choice from there. Every time you do that, you learn about yourself, you have greater awareness, and you get to make choices and decisions that are more and more fueled by your soul self, and it can turn out even better than you could have imagined. And the last reminder I want to leave you with is the discomfort that you might feel on your path in approaching and stepping into the unknown. It isn't a sign that you're off the path or that you're on any sort of wrong path. It's usually a sign you're on the right one. It's kind of this unsteady feeling at the edge of the unknown. And that's not a warning to turn back. That's actually the threshold of your becoming, of your next step. The woman you're stepping into, she lives on the other side of that edge. This fear is just kind of like this toll at the gate of your becoming. And there's layers of this. There's so many layers. So the unknown isn't the thing standing between you and who you really are. The unknown isn't a blocker, isn't a wall. The unknown is the doorway to her. If you can start to respond and shift into this perspective that I don't know, and therefore that means I'm on the right path. This is where you get to be surprised and delighted. This is where you get to create new. Let it be unknown and come back into what you do know in your body. The truth that lives and is alive and real in your body right now. And I heard this analogy of approaching the unknown and comparing it to when you think about the sun rising, right? Think about dawn. Dawn and the sun doesn't arrive all at once. There's this long, quiet stretch where the sky is still dark, but everything has already begun turning towards the sun, turning towards the light. Imagine if you demanded full sunlight too early. You would miss the dawn. You'd think nothing's happening. when in fact everything is so perfectly coming into the light. And that's kind of the trap we fall into. We look for the full sun immediately, right away. The proof, the result, this physical manifestation. And if it's not here yet, we think something's wrong. But just think about this. The dark before the dawn, it is not empty. It's not a delay. It's this transition. It's this turning. The light is already on its way. You just can't see it yet. So if it feels like nothing's happening or it feels like there's a darkness, just remember that dark, or if you're in the dawn, it is all a part of coming into the light, and there is no rush. There is no rush for the sun to shine. I know sometimes it feels like we really, really just want it, but the more we settle in to enjoying the dawn, enjoying this path of knowing the sun is going to shine in full. Think about a time maybe that you have really enjoyed a sunrise. You've really felt connected and just in appreciation of our beautiful planet and the sun rising. Think about how that felt. There's no urgency, right? There's no need for the sun to be in full sunlight right now. Actually, we probably don't even want it because we are enjoying this gradual expansion, the gradual transition from the dark into the light. And so what would it feel like the next time you're feeling a sense of fear in the unknown and you're watching your mind go crazy, like I was watching my mind go crazy on that path because I didn't know, to take a pause and actually stop moving your body, whatever it's doing. Put your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in. Bring your awareness to what you know in your body. It can be as simple as my feet are touching the ground. I am breathing. I am here. And then ask yourself, what do I know? What do I know now inside me? Just see what comes. And if it feels fun, bringing in this idea of the sunrise. And what if I'm just in my dawn phase? What would it feel like to let myself be in the dawn? To actually relax into and enjoy this part of everything coming into the light and the sun shining brightly. And I promise you, just like you know the sun will rise every day, your life is expanding into this version of light as well. You are here to know the love you are and shine all of the light that is already within you. So as we wrap this up today, remember that the unknown means you are on your path and you have in every moment connection to the truth of what you know living inside your body. All it takes is a redirection of that awareness, a connection to, and lots of practice of this to come into the feeling of safety that exists in your body right now. There is no rush to stepping into the fullest version of you. So give yourself permission to enjoy the whole sunrise of you becoming you. You are a powerful creator. You have always got this. I'll see you guys next week.